I've decided to do a video blog on living with major depression, and this will just be a series of videos, just me sharing my experience and also just talking about different things that I feel need to be talked about on the issue of depression. The first thing I wanted to talk about today was acceptance of your depression. I came back from a therapy session with my psychologist today, and I had, I guess, kind of an epiphany during the session, something that I think I was kind of aware of, but not fully. I am quite open with people about the fact that I have a mental illness. I'm not really ashamed of being depressed. I know that it's not really uncommon these days, and people like to hear of your experiences. And if you have a mental illness and you tell people, most of the time they're usually pretty sympathetic. Sometimes they're not, though. So I really thought that I'd come to terms with the fact that I do have a mental illness, but what we've discovered is that I don't think I've accepted how depression has affected my life. For example, I'm the kind of person that likes to learn a lot of different things. I like to achieve. I like to feel like I'm doing something. I like to feel like I'm contributing. And because of the depression, that has really inhibited my ability to do a lot of the things that I enjoy. So I've kind of been beating myself up about it. I have a hard time cutting myself slack. There are some things I just can't do at the moment, and there are a small number of things that I can do, but I'll share them with you. The things I can do are get out of bed, I can shower, I can make breakfast, I can do housework, I can, unpack the dishwasher, all those things. I can usually do short errands like, going to the supermarket to get groceries or going to a doctor's appointment, those sorts of things. Those are things I can do. But that's kind of where it runs out at the moment, and I'm having a hard time accepting that because I guess I feel like, well, I'm in my 20s. There's nothing really physically wrong with me. Surely I should be able to do more. It must just be me in my weak state of mind. And it's this kind of self-talk that has really dug me deeper and deeper into a hole. Because rather than accepting the fact that I have depression and it affects me in the way I feel, it affects my ability to live a normal life, it zaps my energy, and it affects the way I think and feel about everything. And I think I haven't really come to terms with this fully because I'm still trying to hold these, I guess, impossible standards over my life of things that I need to do and things that I need to achieve. For example, I want to write a screenplay. It's very hard to write a screenplay when you can barely focus on the page for longer than 2 minutes. It's impossible to do such a thing when you're investing so much energy in just being okay. I have nothing left to give at the moment. And so I'm constantly beating myself over the head saying, come on, Jasmine, there's nothing really wrong with you. It's all kind of in your head. And you know what, Jasmine? This depression that you have, you probably brought it on yourself. I mean, you must have done something wrong, must have thought something wrong. You should have changed your thinking and then you wouldn't be in this place. And so it's this kind of self-talk that really gets myself into a hole, and it doesn't help. And I have this belief over me that I'm lazy, that I'm weak, and that I just need to keep pushing forward. My past experience has told me that when I push forward, I actually get worse. And so, you know, I've had to finally accept that I can't do some things. I want to hide a lot of the time. I don't really want to see many people at the moment. I don't feel like I have the mental energy to be with people. It's such an effort just to even be with myself, let alone anyone else. And I certainly don't want to burden the people around me with how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. So, you know, why would I want to go and spend time with you? It's like, you know, I love you, my friends, but I'm just trying to be okay in the now. And so those things really get to me, and you know, I can't work full time. I can't study full time. I can't really do very much at the moment. And that is really hard for me to accept, and it's really hard for me to accept within myself that this isn't my fault and that I have a genuine reason for the things that I cannot do. That's something that I'm really struggling to accept. And it's something that I'm having to work on at the moment. It's this just accepting that there are things I can do and there are things I can't do, and major depression is a very genuine reason. It's a very valid reason for not being able to do certain things in life. But what matters is that I am seeking medical treatment. I'm seeing a psychiatrist, I see a psychologist, and I have regular visits with my GP. You know, I'm doing everything I can to get through this, and I'm slowly building up on my, I guess, commitments. You know, I recently got a newspaper run, so I'll be delivering newspapers in my local area, and it's just a once a week commitment. And so for other people that might not seem very much, but for someone like me in my position, it's a huge deal. But it's part of the process with depression, and learning to manage your mental illness is stripping back your life and then slowly building up and just, I guess, building your life up again. It's almost like raising a baby all over again. It's starting in the small steps. So yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with similar things. Because we have what's kind of known as the invisible illness, we don't really validate that how we feel is understandable, and that depression or mental illness is a valid reason to not be able to do the things that you may want to do. And just coming to terms with that is, I think, a huge step in itself. Once you get over those barriers of, hey, I can't do this or that, and learn to accept what you can do, then maybe we can move forward and build from that and go a step further. So I hope this has been of help to someone, and I'll be back with another video soon. Bye.